Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Physiology of Endurance Running podcast. Today we have a special guest with us. We're joined by Welsh champion Owain. Owain, pleasure to have you on the podcast. How are you?
Thanks. Yeah. Feels good.
Can you walk?
I can't walk very well. I've been dragged around for 2 walks by the dog we're fostering today. I tried to get out of dog poo duties by saying I couldn't squat down, but just about managed that. Struggling a bit. I mean, like you have to climb up some steps to get out of the stadium after you finish. So that was a challenge.
That's the hardest bit of a race, was it? Getting in
it was
the
pretty
car.
tough. Yeah.
Getting out of the car at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got quite a sloped driveway as well. So just getting up the driveway. Feeling all right.
Nice. Good. So before we get into the details, the gory details of 40 miles running track, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Soar Running. So Owain was fully kitted out in Soar for race day. So Thank you very much for gifting us some really nice kit. Did it live up to your standards?
It did, yeah. No chafing. Felt really good. Yeah, felt comfy. Hope I looked all right.
You look very fast, very fast until you just shoe change and then you ruined it. But we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that.
Should we give a shout out to the event going on at Hardlines, because that's
yes. Yeah. So I can't remember exactly what it's called, but yeah, this coming Friday. So Friday looking up the dates now. Friday the 7th at Hardlines in Cardiff. If you're nearby, there's an event in collaboration with Soar and Sport Wales, highlighting female specific issues about running, female
safety, isn't it? And reclaim the streets, that sort of vibe, isn't it? Which is well worth supporting. And I hear there's free coffee afterwards, so head down.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Have a free coffee and then buy some pie from Hardlines.
And this is actually, it's not, we say this, but it's actually Owain's unofficial first run club session. So go along. And
I don't think I'm going to be running.
You're going to have to be. You're going to have to be. The fans are going to be there.
I'll be dragged around. Yeah. I'll turn around 500 meters in, meet everyone back at the coffee shop.
Yeah. But I do think the event that's Soar sponsoring are just testimony to their values and beliefs. I think just supporting not just top end runners, but everybody and supporting them to get out and have a safe running experience and a good time as well. So let's get into the details of your week then. So week beginning 24th of Feb.
Yep. So
7 days to go. 6 days to go.
6 days to go, and just backing everything off. I just Monday, Tuesday just did 50 minutes. Nice and easy, nice and chill. I mean, if anything, I already sort of felt not bad. I already felt fairly easy. Which is quite a nice sign. If you're feeling sort of chilled out already. And then Wednesday did a session, just nice and chill, not pushing the pace.
We skipped Tuesday, have we?
Tuesday is 50 minutes, easy as well.
So Monday, 50 minutes Monday, 4:25. 50 minutes Tuesday, 4:26. Okay. Yeah. Wednesday,
pace.
Wednesday, bit of a session.
Yep. So I did 2 by 10 minutes, 1 by 5 minutes. What were they? The first 10 I think was 162 heart rate I had as the alert. And then 165 and then 170 for the 5 minutes. Again, felt pretty good. I mean, if anything, the first rep gave me some nice confidence for the weekend. That's feeling all right. But to be honest, it's just doing something a bit faster. So I thought 25 minutes was a nice amount of time, where it wasn't too short, but wasn't too long. Trying to find that balance. Like we said, there's probably not a right answer, but
I'll be honest, I thought I was a bit on the long side.
Yeah,
I would have. So I've gone really extreme the last few marathons I've gone into and just done even 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I think I did before Valencia. I did 15 400s, but like pretty chilled.
Yeah.
So that's like, I guess that's like getting up to 20 minutes, isn't it? 18
Yeah.
minutes or something.
I guess the first 10 minutes is like, in theory, below my first threshold. So it's not, it's running faster, but it's not too much work. I mean, to be honest, like I probably should have cut it shorter just because the weather was absolutely disgusting. Yeah, that was, really, really not a nice morning.
So what sort of paces we hitting for them?
So I think it was 3:45 a K for the first 10 minutes, and then 3:40, and then like I don't know, I can't see on Strava, I'm cheap, I don't pay. Yeah, between 3:45 and 3:35, I think. So
it's a pretty similar. Yeah. And in terms of a heart rate, they're pretty similar to what you've been doing.
Yeah, probably a bit lower just because there's way less work. Like there's not any drift.
Yeah.
No, nice and chill. Nice. And then by that point it's sort of like, oh yeah, sort of you're done, aren't you? Like it's almost got to the point where it's like, I don't even feel like I can be bothered to go out for a run.
I know what you mean. It's like it's nearly not worth going out for, is it? 9K run.
Yeah, so 40 minutes on Thursday. I was trying to go a lot slower, and again, like I sort of got halfway through and I stopped at the bridge across the Taff in Butte Park, and like my heart rate was like pretty nice and low, and I looked at the pace. I was like, okay, I'm running pretty fast for a pretty low heart rate, and running back up the Taff Trail, I was trying to like slow down, but I don't know. I think it was just busy. Like it's half term. I think
that is the sign of a taper, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your legs just feel fresh, and you don't the effort. There's just no effort to run at at your normal easy run pace, is it?
No, that was again nice. Then Friday, 30 minutes. What's becoming a tradition, probably a bad tradition for my bank balance, but finished at hard lines. Got pecan pie this week. It's pretty good.
Out of 10, what would you give it?
8, I reckon.
Cake fans. 8.
Yeah,
that's
8.
pretty good.
It's good. Yeah, not quite as good as key lime pie. I think is up there.
That's 1, is it?
Yeah, that's 10 out of 10. But yeah, no, nice and again, feeling really good there. Like running 4:17 a K again. The entire way, I'm just like, I need to slow down. But it's just, that's probably a good sign rather than feeling the opposite, where you're like feeling a bit not feeling good, and then you're like, oh god, this is slow.
But like I just let it rip a little bit. Like in terms of you're not really running a fast pace, are you?
Yeah.
And it's not long. It's not going to take anything out of you.
Yeah. I mean, I got to the bottom of Butte Park and I was like, oh, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. That was odd feeling. And then Saturday morning. Let's do Saturday and then we'll go to carbo. So Saturday morning. Aim was 20 minutes. I think we were 23 minutes. But ran to another coffee shop, ran to Wardrobe, which has a really good slice of Victoria sponge. So lots of cake was eaten. So
you had 2 consecutive days of running cake. I like it.
Yeah, again, not good for like these coffee places are really good, but they're quite expensive. Not good for the bank balance.
You started your carb load with Victoria sponge.
So I had started
about
on
9
Friday.
In the morning, or is that
no,
right?
I had started on Friday for the carb load. So I've got what did I do? I reckon totaling it up, I think I did 600 grams of carbs on Friday, and then 800 grams on Saturday. So that's.
Did you track it? Did you?
Roughly, yeah. I mean, like, I don't know how many grams of carbs were in that Victoria sponge, but I sort of ballparked that. The rest of them I was reading off the packaging and like keeping track. And actually, like I think it was a pretty good carb load. Like I didn't feel particularly full. Like I don't really want to call it a hack, but like there's so many grams of carbs in a pack of wine gums that like if you eat 2 packs of wine gums, that's like half your carb load done.
Whereas 2 packs of wine gums is a lot of wine gums.
Yeah, you need to brush your teeth a few times during the day because it feels disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I go over Haribo normally. I go 1 pack of Haribo, loads of rice, loads of bread. But I've never actually properly quantified it. I've just assumed this feels like quite a lot of carbs.
I think
so maybe I've actually been I may well have been undercooking it, but
like when I've done them before, I've done basically less wine gums and more like rice, and you do feel quite full by the end. But yeah, like Saturday evening, I was like, I feel like I could eat dinner. Yeah, I don't know whether that's a good sign or a bad sign,
I think it's
but
a good sign. Yeah.
yeah, if you know, I could push it more, but that's,
No,
I don't
you
know,
don't
what's
need
that?
to, though, do you?
12, 13 grams per kilo body weight. So
And also drinking with calories helps, doesn't it?
yeah,
Drinking with
yeah,
carbs. Like,
yeah, that really helps. Yeah, bottles of Lucozade, bottles of like, although it's hard to find now, but like Coke with sugar in is quite.
it's not that hard to find Coke with sugar in, is it?
Some
Really?
places, yeah. No, I had to go looking for it a bit, but no, then you just buy like Lucozade or whatever, and yeah. So yeah, not too bad. Like compared to carb loads I've done before. I mean, like the main thing on Saturday morning with the running was I just felt horrible because I was just full of food already, because I just like gotten up and was like, again, I think it's a good idea to try get ahead of the eating, so you're not getting to like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon and being like, oh god, I've got like 2/3 of this to go.
Yeah, you don't want that.
But then that means that, I think most people, if they're really taking carb load seriously, are probably also going to run, because they're probably someone that runs most days of the week. And yeah, that final run does then end up feeling pretty pretty horrible, because
See, I would still do it pre-breakfast personally.
Yeah,
just for that reason alone. And then you can and then I feel like you're done. Then you can commit to be eating.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, no. So yeah, carb load went well, and tapered off nicely during the week. Slept all right as well, both like Friday and Saturday night, which is sort of rare for me as well. But no, that was all good. So yeah, got to the race. I'm trying to think what order to. I think, should we just talk through the race, and then because we got some questions off Insta, which
we'll do the questions afterwards. I think, should we?
So
did you warm up? I
didn't. No, I didn't. So I said last week when we were talking about the heart rate plan, that for the first few laps I would try keep my heart rate a bit lower than what I sort of planned for the first 10 miles. And to be honest, I just sort of thought, like, let's just use the first few laps, like.
Yeah.
And also, by the time, because you have the grandstand on one side, like there's some photos on my Strava, I'll chuck some on Instagram tomorrow. You have the main grandstand on where the start finish line is, and then the toilets are on the other side of the track. So by the time I'd like walked back and forth a couple of times to the toilets and then like put my shoes on, it's like gone 10-2, and they're like talking about like it's a 2-minute race briefing and then some photos before the start. It's like you don't really have much time to warm up unless you're doing it way earlier. And I'm just I sort of feel like it's such a long distance that you actually probably just want to like just conserve as much energy as possible. But yeah, no. So yeah, first few laps try to keep the heart rate a bit lower. As it turned out, just immediately was up at like 155. Or 150, 155 BPM for the first few laps. So I sort of like, I think it's just first, start of the race nerves, and it's going to go up and then come back down a bit, isn't it? So, but no, so started off the guys in first, second, and third just like absolutely shot off. Like they lapped me within 15 minutes.
That's quite a lot, isn't it? That's quite soon to lap someone.
Yeah. They really went off hard. And I had someone, and I didn't look back, so I don't know who it was. I had someone behind me for sort of the first 3 or 4 laps, and then they dropped off. And I didn't really ask anyone else like what their pacing plan was. So I don't know whether like they're just going on feed or on a pace. Because if I look at like my pace chart, so again with Barry, you have someone there writing down. There's a clock on the finish line, and someone writes down the exact time when you cross the line every lap, and then also figures out your lap time. And just pulling up mine now. Where are we? So the first few laps, the first lap's a little bit faster just because you're starting, but the first few laps are like 143, 144, and sort of by 15 laps in, they're sort of down to 140 into the like high 130s. So those first few laps were a couple of seconds slower, but not much. But yeah, someone was right behind me to start with, and then sort of 5 laps in, they were gone. And then it's basically just on my own. Yeah, just running by myself basically. Did have a good laugh that he's probably had a few too many mentions on here, but big Pete Gillibrand, who was on the beers the night before. He was the only entrant in the marathon. I did try getting Dan to enter just to do his long run.
I did my 40k on the Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll move on from that one.
Pete peeled off to go into the toilet 6 minutes in. I just remember seeing, I was like, what are you doing? I asked him after, was it the beers the night before, or did he have bicarb? Yeah, I don't know what it was, but
he can't have had bicarb, sure.
No, I hope not. But no, so I was basically on my own. And yeah, really just the plan for the first 10 miles was just settle in, just try and feel as comfortable as possible, just sort of like let the race happen as it will. And sort of the first 10 miles compared to the rest of the race, it feels like there's a lot going on because everyone's fairly close. So Mick, that runs the event, he'll get on the tannoy and sort of, announce people's splits through. I think he does like 5, 10, 20, 30, and then the finishing sort of bits on the tannoy. So when you get the 5 mile one, that's kind of, quite soon into the race, and the 10 miles still fairly soon into the race. And then after that, like it feels like it gets a bit quieter. So those first 10 miles, it feels like there's a lot going on. But yeah, no, just trying to settle down, feeling fresh, feeling all right. I was noticing sort of towards the end of that first 10 miles, where I'd said like my heart rate limit for this first 10 is 155 BPM. And it was sort of there would be points where I'd look and I'd notice it's just, 156, 157. And I'd just immediately be like, okay, chill out. And within a few seconds, it's dropped down straight away. So sort of taking that again as a good sign.
So what was you were supposed to be under 155 for how long?
For the first 10 miles. I thought about doing each hour, but I just decided just do 10 miles.
You were a bit over that, weren't you?
I think a little bit towards the end, it just ended up creeping up, like 156.
Well, I've got you on Strava. It gives you the average heart rate for each K.
Yeah.
And you were
there is a few, isn't there?
You're from 6K onwards, you're 157, 158.
Yeah.
Basically.
So yeah, a bit higher.
2 or 3 beats, but
yeah.
It's always a bit of a guess, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's sort of balancing where it feels good to be running at that pace, but you're trying to keep a lid on it. But then trying to keep a lid on it means you're thinking about it more as well. So trying to find this balance where it's not going to come back to bite you at the end of the race, but you're also not overthinking it sort of thing. And trying to do it on the fly whilst you're in the race.
So for reference, what do you reckon? What were you at 16K heart rate wise last time? Do you know?
It'd be a lot higher. I think it was 164, 165.
Yeah. See, that's quite a lot lower, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot higher last time.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So yeah, first 10 miles feeling good. And I had so my girlfriend and my parents were there as my lap counters between them. And I just got them to tell me when I was through 10 miles. So I wasn't keeping track of laps. Yeah, when they told me I got to 10 miles, I just lapped my watch. So it would have been 10 and a bit miles when I lapped it. But so no, first 10 feeling nice and chill. Sort of there's not really much going on, but you don't really want much going on at that point, do you? If there's something happening, then probably a sign your race is going to go wrong. So then
about 68 minutes was it through 10 miles? I think so. Looking at it,
I've got my split here.
Yeah.
107.33 for 10 miles.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So no, nice and chill. And then 10 to 20 miles. Yeah, feeling pretty settled in. And then sort of at 12 miles, I started to feel. So I started off I think we said last time, I started off wearing Adios Pro 3s. And sort of by 12 miles, I could feel them rubbing on the inside of my right foot. And the same happened last year, but a lot further into the race. And then it's happened, I think, in like one session, but then I've done a number of other sessions in them and they've been fine. And I did the session the week before the race in them and didn't have any issues. So I was sort of like, is this just me lacing them wrong or something? So I went with them because they're the most comfy shoes I have. And in the socks that I was going to race in, they weren't rubbing for over an hour on the treadmill. So it's like, well, I don't have a reason to not wear these. But yeah, at 12 miles, they started rubbing and I was like, oh, it's the same thing again. Sort of was trying to like move my foot around in the shoe, and it went away for a bit. And then sort of at 16 miles, it came back quite sharply. And I just immediately decided, I was like, just like, I've bought a second pair of racing shoes and they're laid out next to my stuff. Like, just go and change them straight away. And it might be that the Mizunos are still rubbing and then I can always change back to the Adidas, but like, why, it's 16 miles into the race. It's not, if it was 35 miles, then I probably would have kept pushing through. But at that point, it's
because I've had like rubbing in a marathon, but actually by the time you get to that point, it's not that far to go, and you got an option to change your shoes then either, so you just got to put up with it, haven't you?
Yeah, and even like 16 miles at a marathon, like you're well over halfway, whereas you're not. So I went and changed them, and like as soon as I put the Mizuno on, the point where I was rubbing, like it wasn't touching at all, and it was just like, this is. Like that was, I just immediately knew, like, I was like, this is a good choice. Like, I'm really glad I did that. They felt a lot worse to run in terms of like, they just felt heavy and just that, like, nothing from the foam.
So from Mizuno Rebellion Pros, or is it something
Pro
like that?
One, yeah.
Pro One. So, the ones I gave you, right?
Yeah. In the that weird colorway.
The zebra print ones. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bit like, it's annoying. It's annoying these don't feel as good in terms of like speed or running fast, but they completely took away the rubbing. So I think it was a good decision. Like, I did it and I was sort of, where you're like really pleased with yourself. You're like, oh, I'm really glad I did that. I'm really glad I didn't try tough it out for another few miles. Like, just went and did it, and that lap was was sort of twice the length, I think, of the other laps, but like worth it, like really worth making that change. Like, if I hadn't made that change, I would have gone under 4 hours 30, but if I hadn't made the change and it had rubbed, then I might have DNF'd. So
3 minutes 10 for that lap. So actually you were still just it was not a bad shoe change out, really.
Yeah, not bad. And to be like, I went and did it and I wasn't rushing because I was like, just get them on and get it correct.
Yeah,
because it's better to just get them on and get the lacing right, not have the laces come undone, not have to stop again to readjust them. So it's just stop, get it correct. That was sort of 10 to 20 miles. As soon as I started running again, and then felt good.
Did you notice your heart rate differ any for the pace, or not really?
I don't think so, but I mean, I wasn't keeping track of what lap time I was doing, so I didn't know if the pace had dropped.
Your pace was pretty consistent afterwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it did drop like a second lap, maybe. Or it's hard, isn't it, to know?
Yeah. It's sort of within a second, isn't it? So, and then So 20 miles, feeling good. And once you cross that 20 mile mark, it's sort of like, okay, like you can now feel like you're counting down the laps rather than counting up the laps. And then sort of the first 4 miles of then 20 to 30 miles, I was in like a really, really good like mental place. Like, I was really sort of felt like I started to like get rolling. And actually, where's my 20 mile split? So
I was just gonna find that
20 miles in 2 hours 15:57. Pretty.
What was it? Sorry,
it was 2 hours 15:57. So I'd done the shoe change, and I think I'd quickly stopped to go to the toilet. So, pretty good. First sort of 4 miles of the 20 to 30 block, felt really good, like in a really, really good mental place. Really flying by. I think that was definitely one of the points where some of the sort of work with Scarlett, the psychologist, was really helping. And so I dropped her a message this morning just to like say thank you. But I was saying to her as well that I ended up with, we were saying about like mantras, and I feel like I ended up thinking different things at different points of the races, because how you feel between 20 and 30 miles is and even 20 to 25 miles is completely different to how you're feeling 30 to 35 miles. So I was like, you're just in a completely different mental state, so I felt like it ended up needing a different approach, and actually psychologically in terms of those strategies, like breaking down the race as well. So definitely something to learn from next time, and maybe someone is going to implement that sort of strategy themselves, like think about ways to break up the race in terms of your mental strategy, as well as maybe pacing, or I think there's like we really only scratched the surface because we only had 2 weeks, but
I guess it's like the key messages are, I don't know, I quite like the run with your head for the first, in a marathon, run with your head for the first 20 miles, run with your heart for the last like 6.
That's
I guess
that
it's the
sounds
same,
right
as
well.
Like, you just be smart, and then when it gets tough, just be tough. You gonna share your mantra?
No, I don't. No, because I think they're really personal. Like maybe part of it's like, I don't know, not embarrassed, but yeah. But no, so 20 to 24 miles felt really good, and then felt like it got a bit tougher, and maybe I was like, maybe I was almost like running too well at that point.
You picked it up a bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
You had a few you'd been pretty consistent, 137, 138s, 139s, and then here like through up to the marathon, there's a few 134s, 135s.
Which is funny, like just that little like feeling a bit mentally better, and that's 1 or 2 seconds a lap. But no, I mean the rest of that sort of block was, I just sort of again tuned out. I grabbed my headphones at some point in there as well. I think maybe like 28 miles, maybe.
So have you said your marathon split yet?
No. Oh, sorry,
250.
My dog just fell off the sofa. So 255 marathon split 2:55:52.
Nice. I mean, that's a pretty solid marathon time, isn't it?
Yeah, and like I sort of didn't know. I knew roughly where I was in terms of the marathon split, but not exactly. And again, not really thinking about it. Like it doesn't really matter if you don't finish right. Like But no, pretty happy with that one.
So where did you go through the marathon split last time? What your marathon split was? Because you went through the marathon last time.
I think it was like 2:53, maybe.
You're right.
So a couple. I mean, a little bit slower, but then if take out the shoe change, basically the same place.
I suppose it is, isn't it? Yeah.
But a lot more in control. Like I know, like we sort of looked at the heart rates from last time, and it like 20 to 30, my heart rate was like 168, 169 sort of thing, like really high.
And you've had some drift already. Like you were at the 155s to start with, and you're about 160, up to 160s.
Yeah. So I was letting it in terms of like where I was trying to keep myself. So like we said, first 10 miles was 155 was the aim. 10 to 20 was 159, and then 20 to 30 was 163. So
you were still a bit, you were a little bit
higher, but
but you've drifted 10 beats by the time you've got to a marathon, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which is, that's pretty good, like only 10 beats, because you think about the marathon, I'm drifting 20 beats probably by the end, Us, but
got to 30 miles, and I'd say probably around 32 miles. That's where like you start to feel it in your legs, like like your legs start to feel tired, and that's sort of where it then gets mentally quite tough. You're just sort of, because when you get to when you get to 10 miles to go, it's 40 and a bit laps. And to start with, I was counting down the laps. I was like, okay, like just sort of trying to going into like just do a lap and then get another lap and another lap. But 40 is still a long way out to start doing that.
It's a long way, isn't it?
Yeah, so I sort of then actually managed to lose count around sort of 33, 32 laps to go, and completely lost track. And then I'd ask my family to let me know when there was 15 laps to go, because in my head, and I said last week, I was sort of like, if I can really start to pick up the pace, sort of, I said 5 miles, 15, sort of 4 or 3 and a bit miles. I was sort of like, okay, let me know when it's 15 and hopefully I'll start to pick it up. But to be honest, at that point, it was just survival mode. Can sort of see in the time, sort of even sort of mid, sort of lap 140. So with 20 to go, I'm slowing a bit. I'm into the 140s for the laps. 1 minute 40s,
through 50k and 3:29:30 from looking at your thing here, which is pretty solid. And actually, it's from about 52k, isn't it? 52k, 32 miles. You're just starting to lose it a little bit, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're now 139, 140, and then into the 143s, 144s, 145s. But then you sort of just held it, didn't you?
Yeah. And to be honest, if you'd asked me, I would have said it just kept slipping. And I guess it sort of did. It's sort of every sort of 3 or 4 laps, it's a lap slower. And to be honest, most of that is just like sort of the musculoskeletal fatigue. Like I didn't really cardiovascularly feel challenged, although, my plan was to slightly pick up the pace after 30 miles and then last 15, 20 laps, really pick up the pace, or try, really pick up the effort, I guess.
Yeah.
And that didn't really happen. Like, I think my heart rate sort of stayed the same, and it sort of got to the point where it felt no matter how hard I pushed, my heart rate just stayed the same. It's probably, again, sort of taken that as a sign. Yeah, I am at sort of a limit. It didn't feel like there was any point where, like the breathing's really hard, or like I need to back off because my heart rate's too high. It more felt like, I was just struggling to. And
that's probably to be expected, isn't it? Like that's probably the fatigue mechanism you'd expect. But you just don't. It's a combination probably of muscle damage and glycogen depletion.
Yeah.
Probably more glycogen depletion. I think muscle damage, you obviously feeling that, but it's. Did you feel like you were hypoing at all, or is it more just I can't? No,
I didn't know. So I realized partway through that wrap up that we hadn't even talked about fueling, but no. So I did the entire thing off Morton drinks. I didn't have any gels, and I just had a handheld bottle that was 250 mils of Morton mix, and then I was every 15 minutes I would just go to my like little table of kit and stuff, grab the bottle and sort of carry it anywhere between like 1 and 3 laps, and just have half of the bottle, so 125 mils per 15 minutes. I think the only time I didn't do that was basically after sort of 30 miles, I went to every 20 minutes. Just towards that.
What have you worked out your average intake?
I think it was like 75 grams of carbs per hour.
It's not bad though for 4 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I didn't have too bad a like taste fatigue, or like pretty happy with it. Like, to be honest, just sort of fed up with drinking and running at that point.
I mean, I've never had the taste fatigue really. I'm normally just grateful for some sugar. More so with gels, I think. Maybe. But I normally end up, if I don't take it at the end, it's not because I'm bored of a flavor, it's because I'm nauseous.
I wasn't feeling that. But no, so I never felt like I was hyper. I never felt like I was low on energy at all. So I would like to think that worked. Like, obviously there's scope to improve it and take on more. But that definitely doesn't feel like that was I don't think that was the reason that there was a bit of a slowing down towards the end.
Yeah, because the thing is, you're never going to be able to replace all your muscle glycogen. Like
No.
you can't break. Yeah, you can't break even. You're always going to be in a deficit. However, even if you're taking on 120 grams an hour, unless you're running super slow, you're not going to be able to replace everything you take in. And yeah, it's great. The time that you didn't get a hypo is good, because that means you're maintaining your blood glucose levels through all that exogenous carbs, and that's obviously going to be associated with performance. But I bet your muscle glycogen was pretty depleted by the end.
Yeah. No, finishing off. Last 10 laps really dragged. I'd taken my headphones out because I was like, well, I don't know, I was not necessarily like enjoy the moment, but like don't just
experience it.
Yeah. But no, they did drag a lot. So no, and then tried to kick it down for the last lap. Didn't really.
It did a bit like So you got your splits here. You did really well to hold on. I think like. You were like you slowed, but you just held it steady at 144, 145, really. A couple of 148s, but then kicks with what was your last one? 127.
127 flying.
127. That's all right. That.
Good last 400.
That's what's that per mile? 369. Yeah, it's a 550. No, 540. Can't do maths now. 548 a mile-ish, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, most of the kick was in the final 200 meters. I sort of started to speed up, and then I was like, "There's a long way to go."
How funny would that would be? I mean, it wouldn't, but I literally have to crawl the last 200 meters.
But no, I was quite pleased with the fact that like the first sort of 6-7 laps were the same lap time as like the last 10 to 15. To me, like, they got faster in the middle, but Cesar probably got the pacing close to right.
Yeah. Do you know what though? I reckon if you'd followed your heart rate pattern exactly,
there would have been
spot on.
Yeah.
Like you'd have been spot on.
Yeah.
Just slightly aggressive. That's just me nitpicking, because I think you did a great job there, to be honest. Like, I bet compared to most others in that race, you probably had the most even of splits.
Yeah, I would be curious to see. Like, I was, maybe I'll get around to it at some point. Like, I was gonna chuck my timesheets, and if it works, I'll try get the other people's, like, chuck it in like Chat GPT and try get a spreadsheet out of it, and then be able to compare. Because I mean, so like in the last sort of 10 miles. So in fact, so I said 3 guys went off really fast at the start.
I was going to say,
one of them pulled out at 20 miles. I had something. I think it's the guy that won it. I think he's won it a few times. Called Grant Jeans from Scotland. I had something that he's having like surgery or something in a few weeks. On his like Achilles maybe. But still ran it, and ran the 20 miles. Which it sounded maybe like that was his plan. Like he wasn't planning to run the full 40.
Get to 26 miles though, beat Pete, and
maybe he should have done that. So I think that was his plan, which is why he went off hard. And then the guys in second and third who who ended up finishing first and second then. Like obviously had really good races. But I think in the last 10 miles, like I think they slowed more than I did in terms of, I don't think either of them like lapped me in the last 10 miles. And one of them, I think I unlapped myself at least once. So I think, I probably had a more even race than them. I haven't seen the numbers, but just going off of what
someone's coming back to you, isn't it? Even if you're not going to catch him, you think, oh, actually, I'm making ground on this person. Yeah,
someone was shouting at me saying like, oh, you're like 200 meters behind him. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, I think he's like 4 laps in front of me. Like I'm 200 plus 4 laps.
I think it must be so hard to keep track.
Yeah.
So
Like you roughly know where they are, but within a few laps. But yeah, so I think I paced it. I know I think maybe the woman that finished second female maybe ran a negative split.
oh, fair.
Which like fair play.
Because that's the other thing in an ultra. I don't know what distance it's typically like. Even like world records tend to be positive splits.
Yeah.
Just because you can't, however durable you are going to fatigue, aren't you?
Yeah, and it sort of gets to a point where it's like, well, why you have like time that you could make up at the start where you're not really fatigued, because you're going to run into the fatigue anyway, aren't you? Like, there's trying to find that balance and not going too hard to induce the fatigue earlier, but not going slow and just wasting the freshness.
I think it's just you just, however easy you set off, you at some point you are going to slow down. And I think at 40 miles, you could negative split or even split. I think the best way to set a world record would probably still be a even or slight negative split. But when you get to like 100k, 24 hours, I can't. It's gonna be a positive split. Like,
you just can't outrun that fatigue, can you? But no, when I had that, I was like,
so how far behind were first and second were you?
I've got the results here. You get this right. Are we? So first place, I'll read the name, is Matt Field, 4 hours 12. And then second place, James Hawkswell, in 4 hours 19. And then I was third in 4 hours 30.
And what was the gap to fourth? How safe were you?
4:47, so 17 minutes. Yeah.
Well clear.
Yeah, nice and clear. I'm trying to think of all the sort of stuff we talked about, like, like you said, didn't quite nail my pacing strategy, but I think that was right. And I think that's the best way to do it. Like, I don't know, like we just said, like, you will come into some fatigue doing this event. But I don't think just picking a lap split. I think if you get it right, picking a lap split, it's because of luck. Whereas I'd like to think there was some reasoning behind the heart rate strategy. Trying to get like as far as possible under, and I think, to be honest, I probably got most of the way under LT1.
It would have been interesting to see your lactate at the end.
But, I don't think it would have been that high.
No, it wouldn't have been high. It wouldn't have been high, but it would just reinforce my point. But it's not about metabolic limitations as such, or fatigue byproducts or whatever. It's energy. But you got to obviously be fit enough to be stable at those intensities and give yourself a buffer that if you are going to drift, you're not going to drift over to LT2, and then you're going to be burning carbohydrates at such a rate that you are going to blow up. I was also just looking at what you did last time, wasn't it, and going, right, that didn't work. Take a step, knock off some beats from what you did last time, and that's probably gonna work. Because actually the pacing was pretty similar to last time, but this time you could maintain it, and last time you couldn't. But
there's probably a bit fitter and smarter with the with doing it. And I think that's something about, it's about ultras and marathons, isn't it? Like, there is an element of learning.
100%. I got quite a few marathons wrong. My first few, and I'd actually just be inconsistent. Like, sometimes, like you said, it would just be luck. On that day, I got it right, because the pace I thought I could run, and other times it went disastrously because the pace I thought I could run, I couldn't run. Whereas now I do pride myself on being like super consistent, and I think if you did another 40 miles, you'd get it even better again.
I would. I've written some notes for this, but like over the next few days, like, I'll reflect a bit more and would think, okay, if I did this again, what would I do different?
I think that's a really important piece that people don't do is they don't reflect and they don't write it down, and they just sort of rely on memory, and memory is awful, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's biased by like how you feel at the time, isn't it? Like, at the moment I'm on quite a high, so I could think like, oh yeah, I did everything right, and then that's your reflection of it because it's associated with that emotion. Isn't
I do try and do that. I just at a notes or go to the notes on my phone on like the journey home from a race, or and just going, right, this is what I think I nailed next time. I'd even just reflect on my training block as well. Like, what do I think I would do next time? And then actually going back and reading that again at some point.
Yeah. And I think
things like your fueling as well, just going, right, this is what I took on.
Yeah. Keeping a note of it to remember. Great.
Yeah.
I think you notice that where you see people where it's like just wildly inconsistent with their results, and it's like, well, did you ever think what you did right when you got it right?
Because that's people. I think people are better reflecting when it went wrong, but when it went right, well, that's when you need to say, well, what did I do that was good? And acknowledging that sometimes it is just a bit of luck, but
there's luck, but there's also, you can't really like defeat your physiology, can you? So
I think you can't fluke a race, can you? In some sports you can fluke it, but you can't fluke a 4:30 40-mile race. You did the training to do it, and then you executed it on the day. Like, you can certainly like muck up a really good training block by just poor execution. But, no, I think you should be. I think you execute it great. Anyway, I guess race day reflections. What would you do? Anything? I know you said you're not processed it properly yet, and you either go through a bit more systematically. But any immediate takeaways? I think things. Well, I guess things you did well, and things you might change next time.
I think things I did well, or that I'm happy about. I mean, like the shoe change, and just making a like decisive decision, because I think that's another component of ultras that like goes beyond physiology, isn't it? That there is an element of problem solving.
That was definitely the right decision, 100%. Because what could have happened is it could have just kept rubbing, and then you change the shoe, and by that point it's just so raw anyway, but it just hurts.
So no, glad about that. And then I think like, although the numbers were somewhat guided but somewhat arbitrary, and there's a bit of round numberness to them, but I think the pacing as well, like that's something I would definitely look to do again in not just another ultra, but if I did a marathon, like I would almost certainly use a similar pacing strategy.
Do you agree with me that you reckon that if you could have knocked it back a couple more beats?
I think so. I think it's just trying to chill out, like you run down the home straight, and there's people there, sort of thing, and then I always find like if because you're lapping people, like you just slightly push just to get past them. And like it's whether it's doing this or like if it's running down the Taft Trail, you just slightly push, or at least I find I do. So I think there was things I could do better is sticking to the strategy better.
It's so hard to do, isn't it? Because especially I've not gone anything as long as that, but it does just feel so easy, doesn't it? Even like a 50k races I've done, you feel like you're jogging. You think how could this pace ever become hard? And then you soon find out that it can become really hard.
Like through the marathon it felt easy, which is weird, but no, definitely I still need to reflect a bit more, and I'm really happy with the psychology stuff as well. Like I mean, I said thank you a few times, but I'm really glad Scarlett reached out. I mean, also actually just reflecting as well, like I meant to say this at the start, but like I just been and I said to you a couple of days before the race, like I've been just really touched by like how many people have like dropped me a message. I think I said to you, I was like, I can't believe how many people care about me doing this stupid race. Because it is.
You've raised the profile of Barry Forcier. There'll be
Yeah.
hundreds there next year.
Yeah. Mick won't know what to do. There won't be space for everyone's tables. No, but I would like genuinely like just that. Yeah, thanks for all the nice messages and the support. Like when I first talked to Scarlett and she sent this like the sort of like strategies to do, and like one of the suggested mantras was make your listeners proud. And I remember reading it and I was like, I hope I'm not thinking about the podcast when I'm doing this, because like you just don't want to think that, right? Like, because either I don't know, you just don't want to feel like, oh, I'm either letting people down, or like, oh, what's the same way that like for some people do like an interval session and they want it to look good for Strava.
Yeah,
I think we all know someone that does that, but like you don't want to be thinking about that because it's external and it's not. But there was points where I was like I genuinely can't believe like how many people have like dropped me a message and like care about this. I know I was genuinely really touched. Thank you, everyone that's sent a message.
See, I was worried about that in Valencia as well, but I didn't think about it once. There's
a bit more going on though, isn't there? You've got like there was more runners in your pack at Valencia than there was in Barry.
It's a shorter time frame. I don't know where the time goes in a marathon, I'll be honest. But yeah, because I think you're right. I don't think you want to be thinking about that sort of thing, like, no matter, like, and if you're like if you're like a pro runner and you don't want to be thinking about what the media are going to say, who's going to say this about whatever. You just want to be focusing on executing your race, don't you? But yeah, again, but then like before and afterwards, it does feel like you've got so much support, which is makes it a bit more meaningful in some ways, I think too.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. I mean, talking about listeners, we put up a call for any questions. I think there was a couple of good ones in here.
Yeah, I'll go through them. One more thing I'd like to ask is, so having done the race, do you feel like there were things you could or should have changed in training, in the actual training block?
I so when my legs started really like feeling fatigued, I was thinking oh shit, should I have lifted some weights?
Is this because you saw that paper that came out like 2 days before you did
Friday,
the race?
Yeah, Rich Blagrove's paper that I sent you, wasn't it?
I used it in my lecture today, but it was basically, if you haven't, it's a nice paper. They just did a strength and plyometric intervention for 2 weeks, two times a week for like 6 weeks maybe, and they showed improved durability, or running economy was maintained better over the course of a 90-minute bout at about marathon pace, which is it's a nice little in reasonable runners as well. I think VO2 max was like 58 from memory average, which that's they're going to be running 35-ish minutes.
I think it was like 37 minutes. I think maybe. I feel like, but
maybe you're right. Yeah, it might be a bit slower. It's not bad. It's not like so many of them are just untrained, or just students who play a bit of football.
And it was interesting reading that, seeing such a short time frame to see a change. But no, that was something where I thought, okay, maybe I should look to incorporate this. And even
is that an in the moment feeling, or now afterwards?
I think after as well. I think because it's so easy. Like I've got a little garage. I could literally just chuck like either a couple of like literally just plates or like a kettlebell or something, and just do a couple of types of like squat twice a week would probably make a meaningful difference over a few months. And that's really not hard. Whilst dinner's cooking, just go and do that 2 times a week. Like that's a really, really quick win, I think. And maybe, you still get to 32 miles and your legs still feel rubbish, but
at least you've tried it then, don't you?
Yeah. So I think that would be one. I mean, to be honest, the only thing I can think of is maybe doing a few more long runs. But I don't know whether that's more of like getting into that specificity trap of being like, well, this was a really long run and my legs felt tired.
Yeah.
Um,
They're going to feel tired, aren't they?
yeah. It's so hard to pick apart what.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's impossible to know what
Well, I think,
intervention I could make.
You didn't have complete mechanical failure, so you were conditioned enough to do 40 miles, didn't you?
Yeah. And I made up the steps after, so 40
Yeah.
miles and a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I would, if I could go back 10 weeks, I would definitely add even a small dose of strength training. I don't know how much I'd change apart from just like if I could run more, I would run more. Like that's
always going to be beneficial, isn't it? You've got to run based upon, you can't just go, right, I'm going to start running 100-mile weeks when you've been doing 70-mile weeks or whatever you were. It's about ballpark, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know whether it's like, it's always hard to be super critical on yourself. I don't know how much I would have done different. I think I got a nice balance of everything, and I don't think it is that drastically different. Well, like we said, I don't think I trained much different at all for a marathon, and to be honest, for even a half, like maybe a little bit more intensity, but not like going over threshold intensity.
Yeah. So one more question for you before we jump into the listener questions, which I think are reasonably quick fire. If you ran a marathon instead of a 40, what on that day, what do you reckon you would have run?
I don't know.
You cruised to 2:55.
Yeah, but then it feels like that's quite far from my PB. So I don't know what, like, I don't know whether I could.
Another 14 miles.
Yeah.
Didn't slow down that much.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I would like to think I could run my PB again. So that's 2:38. I don't know how confident I feel about saying that that I could go much faster than that, just because I don't know if it's like what we were saying before, where you have those kind of those positive emotions from it or positive feelings towards something because of your emotions at the time. But like, I felt like I was in such good shape when I ran 2:38 that that I'm not sure I would want to say I could run much faster than that. But I don't know. Yeah. So I reckon, 2:38-ish and maybe a bit quicker.
But actually, you did one session a week, and I do feel for a marathon you need a little bit more intensity than that.
Yeah.
I think it goes to show you how far you can get off just mostly easy running and once a week doing something a bit faster.
Yeah. And just as prep for this as well, I just pulled up my my sort of training breakdown for, if we go from when we started the podcast, I've done basically 85% of my running was in zone 1 or 2, 14% in zone 3 or 4, and then so that's up to second threshold, and then 1.7% above second threshold. So
and that was all races, probably, was it?
That would be all fell races, all fell cross country races. So it's very biased towards like easy running.
How much was it zone 3?
Zone 3 and 4 is 14%.
Okay.
So
that's a good fair amount of training.
It's still a lot. Yeah, it's a lot
in terms of hours.
I mean, it's almost 11 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? Over 8 weeks?
Yeah. So a fair amount, and chunks of those sessions are still going to be in the top of zone 2. So that's maybe where just getting a couple more hours in that area is just the difference, isn't it? It's really not much.
No.
Yeah.
Nice. Should we jump into those listener questions then?
Yeah. Let's fly through these.
Right, I'm going to pick them. So we've sort of training philosophy for varying distances. I mean, let's just take that as marathon versus 40 miles. You've basically said you'd do the same, maybe a little bit more intensity, but not much. You reckon you're in about PB marathon shape, which I reckon you would have been. I think definitely.
Yeah.
Off of probably quite a different approach to when you ran 2:38.
It was one session a week, but I was doing stuff within the long run, so it wasn't just easy long runs. So 1.5 sessions a week, I guess. But yeah,
nice.
I think also like I was training for that during the summer, and you always feel really fit in like September, don't you? Because you've been
I've heard you say this a lot.
Yeah.
I think you struggle with the heat, didn't you, a bit? I don't know.
But then by the end of the summer, you feel good. So I don't know.
Nice. So it's like it's a bit more intensity, but probably a similar or if not better outcome, certainly for a 40-mile race anyway. High of a week, is that going to be a new feature?
If I get to hard lines
now you were there twice in 2 days, so you're starting off well.
And I'll be again this week
now, isn't it? So
maybe I'll get you to hard lines at some point.
I still haven't been. I do need to go. When am I going for a record? You've really like whetted my appetite to really go and do it now. At some point I will go and do it.
I'll get Mick on your case to do it.
He's already been on my case. He's been on my case for years to do it.
He said on the Tannoy, apparently they also used to be a Cardiff 40 mile. Did he say? I can't remember if he said Mindy or.
There used to be a track at Mindy, yeah.
Or Leckwith. I can't remember which track he said it was.
No, it'd be Mindy. Leckwith's actually quite new, I think.
Yeah. So relatively. There used to be one in Cardiff and in Barry, like that's 240 mile. Yeah.
I would like to give it a go. You've sold it to me. Maybe I don't know.
It's just because it's so like if it was like a 40 mile where it's like a 3 or 4K loop, you probably wouldn't be as interested, right? But because you have so much scope.
No, I would like to go do something like I do want to go do 100K at some point, but I want to do 100K where it's fast.
Yeah.
I really like a solid pace, but feels like you're cruising for a lot of it. I really love that. Like,
I mean, that would be 40 miles, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but like I think for 40, what did Ollie run?
Is it 3:45?
3:45. It was. Yeah. I mean, it's quite comfortable in a 6-minute miling, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, I want to go and do at some point. It's not definitely not this year or next year probably. I'd like to go do 100K because I feel like I could 6-minute mile for 100K. Maybe that's a big shout. I'm sure that's pretty close to a world record, but like, I just feel like if I can run 5:04s for 26 miles, surely like doubling that and adding a little bit, I'm not going to add on a minute per mile. That seems crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit naive, but like,
let's try it out.
I'll try it out. I've done 30 miles by myself at 6-minute mile pace before. And like my 50K time, that's the thing, like 50K, like when I wasn't super fit and it wasn't a super fast course, I ran 5:25 a mile, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, at some point, probably not next year. Before I get slow and old, I will do it. I like this one. Did you forget to buy a table? What was this deal with these setups here? Like what?
Yeah, so I used again it's on Instagram. I used my like workbench for the DIY I do around the house.
On top basically of the crate, which looks about 50 years old.
Yeah, so the crate was just to make everything a bit higher.
Yeah.
So there is a few like communal tables for like that anyone can use for their drinks and food or whatever, but they get put right down the far end of the straight. So it means to get to them, like you run the whole way down the main straight, and then you go out to your table that's out in like lane 6, and then the corner's already started. So I know it sounds really stupid, but you're just adding a few extra meters. And it also means you go to your table, and if you want to pick stuff up on the run, you have like quite a tight turn. And then also it's, almost 100 meters from the people you've got lap counting or lap scoring. So either you need someone else sat at your table, which is already a big ask because you've already asked people to come and write down, the time you've run every lap, or you're relying on them to walk 100 meters down to the table, which requires some coordinating. Or you can bring your own table and put it wherever you want down the straight. So I used the communal tables last year, and it just got annoying. You just basically had to stop, and if you're stopping every 15 minutes, that gets when your legs start
just
to hurt,
loses your rhythm as well, isn't it? It's getting going again, isn't it?
Yeah. So I thought, okay, I'm going to bring my own table and put it down the straight, and that just means I just come off the bend, and then I just take a slightly different angle to my table, and then I've got 50 meters to get back to lane 1. So, it only adds like probably a meter or 2, and you can keep running. But then the only thing I had to put everything high enough up that was convenient to carry, because we said about an ironing board, but that wouldn't have fit in my car. So I was like, oh, my workbench, and then the crate that I used to carry everything in, just turn that upside down, put it on the top.
Nice.
And it worked pretty well.
Resourceful.
Yeah, because it was like I could have gone and bought a table for 30 quid from Argos, but like I'll use it once.
What about next year?
I'm not sure if I'll go back next year. It's a bit too fresh right now.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it looked like it worked all right. So I'm curious about this. So it was the same direction the whole way around, right? You didn't turn halfway, but
no, you don't change.
Have you noticed any imbalances in your soreness?
I don't think so. I mean, I've got the rubbing on one foot, which is the same place as last year, but that could just be a shoe and like my foot shape thing.
Which foot?
On my right foot, so my outside foot. So maybe, maybe that's causing it as well. But yeah, no sort of no specific soreness, but yeah, the same way the entire way.
Okay, so one of the questions was, when did it stop being fun? And my question is, was it ever fun?
I guess I wouldn't say it was fun as in like I don't think I would go seek it out. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, I've got nothing to do this weekend, like that sort of type of fun. I don't think it never got to the point that especially it got to last year where I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I mean, within the last 10 miles, and there was points within the last 10 miles where I was sort of like, I'm pretty fed up with this now. Like, I'll be happy when I'm done. But at that point, you're just like, you just need to finish. Like, you can't stop at that point. So, yeah, I don't think it ever stopped being fun. Or I don't think it ever turned bad, but yeah, maybe it stopped being fun at that point.
It didn't turn into a death march completely.
No.
Yeah. Just
avoided that.
Which was goal number 1, I think.
Yeah.
I think we sort of covered everything else that's come in, really. We talked about a few questions on the psychology, psychological approaches, coming up with the pacing strategy.
The heart rate to stick to, like we sort of said that was, it was somewhat arbitrary, but it does rely on the testing and knowing where your first threshold is, which you can't get without getting tested.
Yeah. I guess I think the testing is helpful there for the long stuff. I guess an add-on to that one was how would it change for a mountain race?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
I've done this South Downs Way 50k twice, and my experience from that was the first time I had a bad time. I got it wrong. I just went out too hard, and like you, a bit like you and Barry thought you the first time, and second time like learned from that, and I set like a cap for the hills, and like, right, I know my altitude heart rate is 170. I 100% don't want to go over that. Yeah. Knowing that actually the average is going to come out quite a bit lower because you're only going to be peaking at that for the climbs. So that's what I've done before. And actually for the early climbs, if my heart rate altitude is 170, I probably want to be a bit less than that.
Yeah.
So that's how I've worked it out.
That's what I was thinking as well. And the only other thing I'd maybe add is like if it's if it's, like, I don't want to say UTMB or, that kind of real mountain race where it's not just a 10-minute climb, it's an hour climb.
Yeah.
It would be way lower than that. It would
100%.
be,
yeah. And if it's a much, like, the 50K took me this year or last year, 3 hours 20. So it's actually not that long a race. If it was a 4, 5, 6, maybe not a 4, but if it was a 6+ hour race, yeah, I'll be reducing that. I think I'll be going like LT1 for the climbs if it's UTMB type thing.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be out there for 24 hours because, yeah, that's actually still quite a high intensity, really.
Yeah. I guess that, once the length increases or the climbs become longer, it's almost like keep your heart rate lower on the climbs and actually like condition yourself to be able to attack the downhills a bit more. Like if they're that long a downhill, then that would be.
And I guess a caveat as we're speaking of from two athletes with minimal experience of mountain racing, but that would be my as a physiologist and someone who has done a little bit. I did do a 60K mountain race and I ended up on a drip on the end, so maybe shouldn't listen to my advice. I think we'll wrap it up there, shall we? I think that's I think we've covered everything.
Yeah.
And congrats again. Really solid performance.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining for the journey. Yeah. Hope it's been interesting.
Yeah, well, we certainly had a lot of people following, a lot of people listening on. So, yeah, we've done a pretty good deep dive into that now as well. We're getting on for time, aren't we? Getting on for time.
Long episode. That's all right. It's the debrief one.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Thanks everyone.
For listening. Yeah, we'll be back soon with maybe another. We still need to decide if I'm doing Road to London. Probably. 8 weeks to go, isn't it? So,
yeah.
All right. See you next week, Ben.
See you soon. Cheers.